from the early 2000s, build engineers, testers, operators created or found themselves doing tasks repeatedly. Each group developed their own methodology of simply making it repeatable. This was the dawn of modern automation. From web applications to microservices to monitoring tools, we found needs for automation everywhere. But you can't just jump into automation. First, you have to understand the problem. That means dissecting the ask, breaking down the process, and then defining your output. This process meant that you'd have to talk to people, bring people to the table, get them all on the same field, understanding what it is you need them to do and what they need you to do. So you have this ask, you have all of these people together, and now you have enough information to finally generate this incredibly wonderful, powerful report that absolutely nobody's going to read if everything's working correctly. So that's it, right? Now, we need to have our automation framework, or automation methodology, sorry. From playbooks to programs, there's a myriad of different technologies, ideas, concepts for automation. But don't get bogged down by it. Start with the first step, which is documenting the first step, and then the next, and the next, and the next, until you have this nice, well-defined process. You can then, using this process, determine what it is you need, don't need, and whether or not that automated process is even possible. Believe it or not everything is automatable. Now, you have this wonderful document. You need to take that document and write it in a form that you can hand off to someone who has absolutely no or may have absolutely no understanding of that process. So keep it simple. But what format are you storing it in? What documentation tools are you using? Fortunately for you, most organizations are gonna make that decision for you, whether you like it or not. Now that you have your wonderful little document telling you everything you need to do, are you going to repeat this every year? Every month? Weekly? Hourly? Every 5 minutes? You need to understand how or why you want to do this repeatedly. You need to understand what is involved in this repeatability to determine what languages you want to use. Because let's be honest, not all languages are created equally, but not all languages suck. This means that you're going to have to figure out which language works for what you're doing. They all have their pros and cons, and it doesn't mean choose one. There may be multiple languages that you need to use in a single execution. So, now that you have all of this figured out, does it work the way that you want to? Well, how exactly is this process working for your company? Are you using the right tools? Are you creating something that is efficient? You need to determine whether or not, or you need to write something that you need to write something that generates your report quickly, not executes quickly. You are running a marathon, not a sprint. So now we're actually to our automation frameworks, which, just like our documentation tools and our languages before, there are way too many to talk about. Pick one, be happy with it. Hopefully it works for you, and you don't run into the convolution of automation. As you end up developing and maturing your automation framework and your technology, you'll find that complexity becomes a massive risk. In order to combat that complexity, you want to write down simple steps and processes for each part of your automation so that it becomes sort of self-documenting routine. Add in logging, and you get a clear view of your system. And with that, I want to leave you with these guidelines. And remember, not everything needs to be automated, and you can stop at any step in this process. So I hope I helped you guys better understand automation. And with that, go out and sow some chaos.